Tonight, closer to the US coast than to China, a contest between superpowers on the high seas. Monitoring this massive Chinese fishing fleet looming off South America has become the US Coast Guard's urgent focus. NBC News was invited to board the USCGC Alder, its 50-strong crew on a new mission.
There's nothing wrong with fishing. It's just you got to do it in a way that's responsible and that ensures that it'll still be there years to come.
They're part of a multinational law-enforcing effort aimed at curbing overfishing.
It's a matter of national security. Around 40% of the world gets at least some of their protein from fish. So that's why there's a sense of urgency here.
Because overfishing leads to no more fish.
Yes, sir. Yep. No more fish.
China's huge fishing industry, with Chinese government subsidies, dominates the South Pacific Ocean, over 10,000 miles from home, fishing for giant squid.
Hey, how are you?
We take a flight with the Peruvian Navy, 200 miles off their coast.
We're crossing into international waters right now.
To find a flotilla of Chinese squid jiggers just outside Peruvian territorial waters, relentlessly pursuing the squid.
We've been flying for about 20 minutes at 2,000 feet, just above the ocean, and we've already seen 10, maybe more, Chinese fishing vessels. And there's another one. Looks pretty rusty.
According to a report by Oceana, a Washington-based ocean conservation group first seen by NBC News, China's colossal distance water fleet is monopolizing the world's oceans. Some vessels allegedly turning off their tracking devices at times and fueling unregulated fishing practices in conservation and protected areas such as the Galapagos, as identified by NOAA.
We found about 500 Chinese fishing vessels that were targeting the waters outside of Ecuador and the Galapagos Exclusive Economic Zone fairly intensely. They fished for about 134,000 hours, which is an astronomical amount when you consider how targeted in a very small area that fishing pressure was occurring.
What we saw was this navy of Chinese vessels just outside of the area that they're not allowed to go.
Yeah, we also found that a number of these vessels were disabling their public tracking devices. These are called automatic identification system devices. They transmit a vessel's identity, its location, its behavior. When devices are disabled, we call this going dark or a gap event. There's a gap in the data. And so when this happens, we lose our eyes on the sea. We don't know where this vessel is or what it's doing.
The report detailing hundreds of so-called factory ships carrying the huge hauls of squid home to China so smaller ships can keep fishing.
They are globally seen as one of, if not one of, the worst actors when it comes to illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing.
Still, she says, because the US imported more than $686 million of seafood over the past 5 years, including from China, Congress has been able to apply pressure on Beijing by threatening to stop imports without improved fishing practices.
Squid like this may end up on your dinner table in the US.
We want to make sure that the squid that we are eating aren't a part of illegal fishing, unregulated fishing, and they're not products of forced labor.
The Chinese embassy in Washington responding, telling us they should not be made responsible for the actions of a small number of vessels.
We are one of the top importers, and we are one of the world's 5th largest exporters of fish. We are definitely invested in this. We want to make sure that the fish on our markets was caught legally.
Tonight, the US and China sharing the Pacific with many other nations while battling over its resources. Keir Simmons, NBC News, Peru.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.